welcome back to the Acid Test Easter edition. Happy Easter, everybody.
Happy Easter. Good Friday.
As you can tell, it's nice and cold because we've got a t-shirt,
yeah, you're looking
jumper,
very Steve
shirt,
Jobsy.
Yeah. That's what I was going for, yeah. Because I'm not talking about Apple.
What do you like about turtlenecks, though?
I don't have to wear a scarf.
Right.
And it's going to be freezing where I'm going after this, so don't need to worry about that.
So it's functional.
It's functional.
Functional fitness. Fashion.
Tactile neck.
It's tactical turtleneck. It's tremendous. How's everybody going? Luke, how are you doing?
I'm great.
You not cold?
I'm not cold. I got that thick Italian hair on my skin, so that'll keep me warm. How are you going, Sean?
Yeah, we're turning this Good Friday into a great Friday. So,
I was waiting for someone to crack that joke.
I'm glad it wasn't left to me to make it, so that's good.
Creddles, how you going?
Yeah, good, mate.
Creddles.
I don't know. It's just something Luke's always called me.
Crack the jet?
Yeah.
I like it.
So you'll start us off.
Yeah, I guess I'm starting us off this week. I am going to be talking about social media and whether it's dying. Now, I'm going to jump straight into a question first of all. Are you guys using social media less or more than you were 5 years ago?
Like 1,000% more.
Yeah,
wow.
a lot more because of just how easy it is to access on my phone.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Were you using it on... Because, I mean, people have had phones for quite a while now. Were you not using it on your phone 5 years ago, or...?
Well, just the access of apps is a lot greater, especially with Messenger as well. Like, we didn't have the Messenger app until, 2012 or something.
Which was over 5 years ago.
Which is over 5 years. But it was until Messenger sort of came out when I started messaging people a lot more than how it was before, I think.
Yeah, fair enough.
Plus, on that, I find a lot of phone plans give you a lot more data now, so you can use it without having to worry about chewing into that and it costing a heap.
Yeah.
Or they build it in so you have unlimited... I mean, so Spotify is not exactly social media, but things like that are built in.
Yeah, no, I get you.
And also the fact that you can do groups on Messenger as well. The amount of times when a group chat's just going off.
Yeah. So would you say that, just as an example, you use Messenger more than you use Facebook?
Yeah, I'd say so.
We would anyway, probably more than the
definitely.
average Joe. But that's because our group, there's 10 of us.
We don't shut up.
And we're far too chatty. No.
we don't even text anymore. Messenger has pretty much killed texting as well. I'd say I probably use social media maybe less on a whole for browsing or whatever, but definitely more for communicating. 100%.
Well, that's going to bring up a few points. So despite 2 billion active users, 2 billion, that's what, pretty much a third of the population of the planet. Facebook's user base has remained stagnant in the US for the last 2 years at 68%. So the last 2 years, it's not really growing, but I mean, it can't grow forever, I suppose.
Yeah.
And there's only a finite amount of people.
There'd be a threshold, yeah. You can't just constantly have new subscribers.
Yeah.
Wonder how many of those, 32% that are sort of older generation people who don't know how to use technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And just children that don't know, aren't allowed to start an account.
Well, I know speaking to, it's not really a good gauge, but speaking to a bit of a few of my cousins who are younger, they actually see things like Facebook as being more for the older generation now.
Right.
They see things like Twitch and those sorts of things as more current.
Yeah.
And
Instagram.
And Instagram is sort of the go-to now.
Yeah, there is a feeling that because there's so many old people on Facebook that the younger people are just a bit discouraged from using it.
It's the LinkedIn of the regular world.
Well, I always find Instagram, when you meet someone, I don't generally look for them on Facebook because most people have a private Facebook page, generally, So I always look for them on Instagram because, general rule of thumb is most people put the pictures they don't want their family to see on Instagram.
Yeah.
They don't
That's what you're looking for.
It sounds so dodgy.
It's less personal. It's less personal as well than someone's Facebook because you're not so invasive in someone's life. So it's always a bit more chill than because everyone's had Facebook since they were if we're meeting people that are sort of our age, they've had Facebook since they were 17, 18 like us, and no one wants to see pictures of when they were 17 or 18.
Yeah. I think it's visual content. I think people are more into visual content now over reading and things like that. And a good stat that backs that up is YouTube's user base is actually growing twice as fast as Facebook's. So
that doesn't surprise me that much.
Yeah.
I think video content is just exploding right now. So so Twitch works with that. I mean, hell, we made a YouTube account. Like,
Yeah.
it's just so easy.
What's that at again?
At the Acetest Pod.
Oh, nailed it.
Hit us up.
Yeah.
And if you're not watching us, you should
could be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could be.
You
And
could
you
be
should
and
be.
should be.
You should be, yeah.
And we can't wait to see you.
So some people believe it's not all social media that's stagnating, which is obviously true, because YouTube is growing. But actually, just maybe Facebook due to the negative publicity lately. So a good example of the negative publicity, there's two, is Facebook's confrontation with what's called the GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulation, which is being brought into Europe. It's legislation that's purpose is to protect European users from their content being stolen.
Yeah, so is that because I think my old work got sort of involved with this, like you can't legally give away someone's like address, for example, if they're a European citizen by like means of without their permission, essentially. Is that what it is?
Pretty much. You
Yeah.
can't do almost anything without their permission.
Yeah.
Probably a good rule of thumb. I mean, that should be sort of going without saying.
But the fact that Facebook was confronting this and not wanting this legislation to go through kind of was bad publicity for them. They were like, why? People were like, why don't you support this?
So what's the reasoning behind it? But is it like marketing and advertising, so like targeted marketing?
They say things like people are opting in, and so it's their choice. They don't have to be a part of Facebook, things like that. And yeah, marketing is a huge one. And I'll get down a bit further to things called shadow accounts.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not dark web, but it's
Sounds
close.
like ghosting.
Yeah. Ghost accounts.
So the good of the GDPR, you actually have the option of deleting your account, which you already have now. But with it, you have the company's data that they hold on you and that they distribute. That gets deleted as well.
So all the cookies surrounding things that you
everything.
search, essentially.
Yeah. So if you delete your Facebook right now, that content that you've posted still belongs to them. They still own it, and it's still in a database somewhere. If you delete it under these new rules, in Europe at least, that gets all deleted. Which is good if you want to, because I think a lot of people are concerned as well by growing up on social media about posting content that then comes back to haunt them 5, 10, 15 years later.
Yeah, well, our entire lives are on there, and things have changed socially and politically in the last 10 years so dramatically. Like, especially with the Facebook memories, I see that every day, and it's just like, Jesus, I can't believe I wrote that, and it's like delete, like
Joseph Fritzl.
yeah, exactly, like that
Fritzl?
was
Is it?
yeah, like so that was a meme, like, but that's like something serious. I see that, I'm just like, well, Jesus Christ, delete, yeah, like, oh my God.
Jesus Christ, delete.
Yeah,
not me.
I hate when things come up like that. And you're just like, oh, what kind of person was I 5 years ago?
Yeah.
exactly.
But
yeah.
in a way, it's retrospection. You,
Of course.
you look at it and you see how much you've grown from then. That's how I take it.
It's good, but then people, like happens on Facebook, or not Facebook, Twitter, with a lot of famous people. They have tweets that they posted 10 years ago coming up, and they're like, well, this is what you said. And it's like, well, I'm a different person now.
It's almost, it's like the internet is like fact checking them on everything. It's like they got their own fact checker, like we do here.
Hey.
I remember there was a pretty hilarious one a couple of years ago. There was a guy, like a professional athlete, and before he was drafted to a team, he'd like written a tweet about the coach of that team, and basically like bagged him out, and they ended up getting drafted to that particular team. And so they brought up in like the introduction meeting. They're like, hey, so you posted this like at this time of this date. What are your thoughts on that? He's like, I take it back.
happy to be here.
Because like he'd called the coach like a dickhead or something like that.
The most simple,
Yeah.
I take it back. That's all you need to say.
Yeah. So another, you're also able to see the info that these social media companies have on you. Whereas at the moment, you can just see the content that you've put on there, but they might have other content that they've collected. So, for example, when you're on Facebook at the moment, if you're logged in, everything that you're doing outside of that is still being tracked, just so that you guys know.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Not at
so if
all.
you're on Facebook and then Googling things, they are able to see what you're Googling.
But they'd also be able to, get stuff from like other companies they own. So Facebook owns
Instagram,
Yeah.
WhatsApp.
Yeah. So
yeah.
anything from that, Facebook would have access to. So
Yeah,
they'd just
but-
be able to see it.
So they just see that and they just give you ads catered towards that. I think that's the worst that can possibly do.
Yeah, there was that patch where I kept getting. I was in the market for a new watch, and I just kept getting ads on Facebook for a new watch.
Yeah.
So frustrating, man.
Yeah, I bought a musical score for uni for an assignment, and then I kept getting ads for musical scores to buy, and it's just like, oh my God,
Yeah.
stop. But I'm happy with that. If that's the only data they'll use is just to feed me more ads, I can easily just ignore those ads.
I've got an even more extreme targeted advertising thing. So at my old job, one of one of our inspectors had to go to Xiamen in China, and I Googled it and I just wanted to see what it was like, what was there, and I started getting advertising for hotels to stay in that city, and it's just like I didn't have Facebook open. This is my work laptop, and it just mines the data. But they're not just doing it for marketing purposes. It's for like future products as well. They gather all this data to be able to sell you just anything, really.
Yeah.
Future. And so I heard a good example from a podcast I was listening to, which sort of touched on this stuff. And you know how you have to type in captures, and it's all like, oh, which of these is a traffic light?
Yeah.
Which of these is a car? Which of these is a storefront? Apparently, that's for not to see if you're a human or a robot. That's to help teach automated driving systems.
Bullshit.
So robotic cars.
Really?
Wow.
Why else are they showing you traffic lights and cars and storefronts on the side of a road?
Yeah, I guess why wouldn't they just give you
Buses.
like a simple capture?
Which of this is a duck?
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably makes more sense.
It's all traffic
Yeah.
related.
It is.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wanted to sleep tonight, Sean. Thanks a lot.
Well, that's just what I heard in a podcast I was listening to.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. No.
So the bad side of this is of the GDPR is that some companies are blocking EU users altogether.
Blocking what? Sorry.
EU, like European users from
Oh,
even
really?
creating accounts because they don't want to have to deal with it. They don't want to do the right thing, so to speak, from the get go. So like, no, we'll just block a whole continent. Crazy.
That's a real like blanket approach to
Yeah.
a problem.
Another downside will be that you're just going to have to agree to more things via email. So you're going to get constant emails saying, do you agree to them using this information constantly?
You're going to have to read all the fine print as
Yeah.
well. It's going to be in there.
And I'm not good when it comes to reading the fine print.
No one reads the fine print.
Yeah. There was a
Except-
thing actually in the news posted recently where there was a company and it was like if you read all of the terms and conditions and then like came and called the company on a certain line, you got like a $10,000 like prize, and it'd been active for like 10 or 15 years.
Wow.
And one woman finally read like all of the terms and conditions on it. The contract was just like, yeah, can I just claim the $10,000?
Jeez.
Yeah, like it was because the company had just been like waiting. It was kind of like a little
Experiment,
gimmick in their terms and conditions. It was like a big $1 million company or whatever.
Wow.
So,
There
yeah.
you go.
Yeah, it's
Read the
busy.
fine print, guys.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a busy Friday for her.
Yeah, great Friday.
So the second thing that second example I have is you've probably heard Cambridge Analytica. I'm not sure if anyone's
Rings
heard
a
of that.
bell, but
Yeah, that was the data scandal.
Yeah.
Yeah, where millions of users' private data was collected without their knowledge and so sold on. So another thing, apparently, Facebook creates what are called shadow accounts. And these are accounts based off of people that you connect with who don't have a Facebook account. So while they might know you personally, they might not know you personally because you don't have an account. They can build a general idea of who you are, and they can still find ways to target you.
Yeah, right.
But target you with advertising.
Target with advertising or just get an idea of who you are. It's generally all based around marketing and things.
I'm just like, do people have such bad willpower that they can't just ignore ads?
yes.
I think people just don't like spam.
I guess, but like if I see an ad on Facebook that's catered towards me, and I know it's catered towards me because I've been searching that recently, like I'll be like, oh yeah, cool, it's doing that thing, but I'm not gonna look into that ad. Like I'm not gonna be so persuaded by the ad that I'll just immediately just want to buy something. You know, I really question the willpower of people when they see an ad popped up in their face that's catered towards them, whether they can say yes or no to.
Yeah, but it's not like a one-off instance. It's a thing that like you keep saying over and over and over again, and eventually you sort of buckle and give in. So it's just like you keep seeing holiday destinations for Bali, for example, and the more you see it, the more you think, yeah, I could go to Bali. Or you see like a jacket, for example, you might need a jacket, so you're constantly seeing these ads of jackets, and it might be a different jacket every time, but you eventually see one that you actually like, and it's like, oh, actually, I do need a jacket.
Okay,
and
well,
then eventually you give in.
I keep seeing these ads for shirts on Instagram, and you guys know I like to wear like a bit more flamboyant shirts at the moment. Sort of.
Yeah.
If you want to call it
Well,
that.
not flamboyant, but like, I don't know, just like patterny
No,
shirts.
we'll roll with it. You like flamboyant shirts. Keep going.
Fabulous. So
And
We won't judge. This is a
Thanks to you,
safe.
Sean.
Safe
You're
zone.
safe zone, yeah. Not out there, maybe. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, you know he's not in the market for jackets. I mean, look at those arms. Yeah.
Anyways, I keep seeing these ads on Instagram for these shirts that I like. I've been buying recently, And I had a look at the ad when it first popped up, and I was like, yeah, that's cool, but yeah, I probably won't get it because it's too expensive or shipping's too much or whatever. And they keep popping up, and I just keep ignoring it. So that disproved what you were saying, but not for me it has, but not for other people.
But that's because you haven't hit that weak moment yet. Where you know what?
Right.
You know what? I earned that shirt.
Yeah.
Like,
maybe it's
just
coming.
got paid. Like,
just got paid.
Yeah.
Oof, what?
tax return came in, was better than expected.
Sorry, did I have a party on Saturday night? Wow, I need a new shirt.
That shirt has
but
how many
do you know what I
flowers
mean?
on it? Sold.
Yeah, you think about like all those little factors that weigh into the equation, and then like, you know, especially for things like holidays. I think that's the big one.
And if it's like in your face constantly.
Yeah, and you just crack. It's kind of like, if you've had like a really long week and you've had a shit day, you've just gotten paid, and you think, you know what, fuck, I really do need some time off. Yeah, I'll check out those ads on flights to somewhere.
Yeah, it's like, look, I'm not going to stay in Xiamen in China like it wants me to, but you know, somewhere else I might be interested. New York, London.
Actually, had a really like great moment with like marketing and stuff. So the other day, so at work last weekend, one of my colleagues, his car broke down and he had to get towed. So he was looking at getting a new car, and someone was like, "Oh, you should check out John Hughes." And he was like, "Where's John Hughes?" And I said, "Victoria Park, just over the causeway."
Yeah.
Shepparton Road.
And that's the thing. And he just like looked at me, and like we had a couple of people in the room laugh, and he didn't actually understand. He's a couple years younger. And I was like, that's literally word for word what the ad is on TV.
Yeah.
Surprised he didn't say, "We'll fix the car."
Lubemobile. But you know what I mean? Like, it's the power of it all. You know?
Yeah.
I think some people are more concerned as well just by having their data constantly looked at. Like what they're doing is maybe a bit like someone's looking over your shoulder.
That is scary. Like that is scary. I don't like that at all.
But the only evidence we have of them using that data is for ads, and I can deal with that.
Okay, that's fair enough.
That you know of.
That you know of.
Yeah,
so
that
far,
we know of. But that's the whole thing of evidence.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
So talking about social media in general, other issues that people have with it, privacy issues, lack of trust in these companies. People are also concerned with illegitimacy of the news that they get on social media. Because there's a lot of
Fake news.
There we go. A lot of fake news.
Well,
a lot of hard to believe news, and so you just don't know what's legitimate now and what you can believe. I suppose
You got to look into your news sites and look at what sites are actually based off of hard evidence and what are just like talking about rumors.
Yeah, keep your BS radar on high.
Yeah,
pretty much. If you're online, you have to be skeptical as fuck.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The news is trash these days anyway. It's just Meghan Markle left, right, and center.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I don't give a single fuck about the royals. I so don't care.
Yeah.
Like,
But then that's how the fake news, that's how they get popularity, because their news is actually like really interesting, like because it's dramatic.
Clickbait,
Yeah. Whereas like proper news is actually, like, I subscribed to one on the news app and I was like, wow, this is actually really boring, and I stopped listening.
So another thing people are concerned with is narcissism. So social media creates a lot of narcissism, which means
People up themselves, right?
Yeah, people who are just full of-
validation.
as well as the negative mental side effects that people see because they're only seeing the highlights of people's lives. And so a lot of people then judge themselves and compare. And
A lot of elitism going around.
there is a huge amount of that.
Absolutely. And that's something you like, that is what is happening with our culture today. Like it's becoming more and more of an issue.
It's a show
but
and tell
was-
culture.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
was
big
never
time.
was never a past issue.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, people have always been narcissistic, but now there's the platform.
Yeah, to
be
really
worldwide.
thrive.
yeah, and like I think to a certain degree, like I think everyone, even it doesn't matter if you're really famous or if you're just getting 5 likes on something, everyone seems to be competing against everyone else.
I think we know which one we are here at the podcast. Yeah.
If we get 5 likes,
The 5 likes come from the 5 of us in this room. That's the issue.
we're aiming for 6+.
At the acid test pod.
So I don't know if you guys know of JD Weatherspoon. It's like a pub chain in the UK.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they have 900 outlets in the UK. They closed their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts, citing they're over it.
They're over
Yeah.
it. They're just
Wow.
Over it.
Good.
They just closed it all down.
Good on them.
Yep. So whack.
Seems like a bit of an extreme thing to do.
I think they were
like,
getting like too much shit. Like they had to employ people to just maintain social media accounts, and it just didn't become viable, I suppose.
Especially when you get so much backlash and stuff, and like people complaining a lot. Yeah, you can get over that.
Others believe, and I probably believe this as well, is social media is so ingrained in society, it won't go away anytime soon, which it doesn't have to. It just, I think it'll have to become a bit more specified. So people might start using less general social media platforms. So maybe not Facebook. If they like photography, they might use things like Flickr or whatever, or even Instagram or whatever.
Pinterest.
Yeah. I think that trend is starting now. I think people seem to be waning off Facebook feed.
Yeah.
And sticking to things like Messenger for talking, Instagram for pictures and posting. No one really posts like Facebook statuses anymore. People who want to write something, write it on Twitter.
And the only people I have that post Facebook statuses are like people that are my parents' age.
Your age people.
Pretty much.
Yeah. The only reason I actually stay on like the Facebook feed is for work related stuff.
Yeah. And getting
Sport.
invited to parties.
Yeah, literally.
Events,
Yeah, events.
Yeah,
Other
if there
than
was
that-
an app for events, that would go through the roof.
Yeah, but then you'd have to add everyone as a friend, so it'd be
Yeah, so
kind of
that's
like a
just
similar
pretty
pissing
much,
contest. Yeah.
All right, so last question. Do you guys actually enjoy social media, or is it a way just to kill time? Do you find yourself on it just killing time?
Bit of both. Okay, so like if I'm bored or whatever, I'll kill time with it. I don't really scroll through the newsfeed or anything. It might be just to find a news article, but there is instances where I'll specifically go to social media for things. So yesterday, Spurs beat Man City in the Champions League. I specifically went to Instagram to look at like what the players were posting and stuff like that. So it serves a purpose because you get closer to people that you wouldn't have access to. Like we have no way of seeing the interviews from here in Australia and whatnot.
You want
So
to see the Pep Guardiola memes where it's just like,
not even, man.
Absolutely.
I wanted to see the celebrations and stuff. I wanted to watch the highlights again and just like so it serves a purpose in that sense. It brings you closer to things that you don't have access to.
so anyone else?
Yeah, I find myself scrolling through Facebook feed a lot. Do I enjoy it? Well, I mean, I wouldn't say I hate it, but it's just something to kill time. But yeah, sometimes I'll come across something on Facebook that it will be news and I haven't heard of, and like that will be cool. But I'm mostly just and Instagram like isn't so much of a. I'm getting over Instagram actually. It's just a bit same.
What's your go-to social media right now?
Reddit. I love scrolling through Reddit, and because especially
You learn a lot.
Yeah, and just being able to subscribe to things that cater to your interests. Like I subscribe to a lot of music production subreddits and like AFL stuff.
Flat
and,
Earth Society.
No,
Flamboyant
I just
shirts.
Our flamboyant shirts.
I just subscribed to one yesterday called Cool Guides.
Yeah.
That just like they just post pictures of like guides to things.
I like
ominous things, and it's great.
I like our DIY. It's
Yeah.
DIWHY, DIY. Someone's done a DIY job and they've done a terrible job and they just go DIY.
That's cool.
It's great.
Brettles?
I like Facebook. I don't really go on. I just read maybe some of the articles on like sport related stuff, or if bands are touring and stuff like that.
Yeah.
My number one would be number one would be Messenger, and that's more just keep in contact with all you guys, and organize shit. And other than that would be like Instagram, and that's just I'm a bit with Luke on that one. I'm a bit over it because it's just one giant pissing contest, and like it's so fake. Like even the people you like to follow, like if they're informative or if it's like sort of education based, like I follow a lot of stuff for fitness, and it's just so phony, and like there's no genuine. I can't say the word genuinity. Yeah.
Genuine.
Yeah, I don't know. It lacks genuine people who are just kind of putting out content for the sake of like, look at me, and that
That's what
pisses
it's
me off.
become. Yeah, it's become a bit toxic in Instagram.
Yeah, definitely very toxic.
Yeah.
So I think to sum up, social media is not dying. I think it's evolving, and I think it's not. I don't think it's going to go away. Like it's.
It'll be interesting to see the next step. We're still in this not early phase, but this still first phase of
Global connection.
Yeah, global connection and people wanting to hear from other people. And I think that's getting a bit boring now. I think there must be a new evolution to that.
I wonder what the Facebook of this, because we had MySpace, and then Facebook just was the next massive thing. I wonder what the next massive thing will be.
I got a feeling it will still be Facebook.
But like, I mean, not necessarily in a purely that kind of social media sense. I mean, in just like where social media's next step as a whole will be. You know what I mean? Because MySpace was quite specified, quite small, and then Facebook just widened the gap, and it was completely different, like game changer.
Yeah, but Facebook's just buying all their competitors.
True.
So so why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it just continue to be Facebook and it just buys the next big thing?
Yeah, it's depressing.
Interesting to see.
Yep.
So I looked into something a little weird this week. I'll preface it by actually when we ended the podcast last week and I went out to Northbridge, which is the bar district here in Perth, and went to this bar called The Bird and started getting pretty smashed. there.
Oh, yeah.
as I do on my Thursday nights. No, it was a hip hop karaoke, and I always love to get down for hip hop karaoke. But I was lining up at the bar, and I just thought I'd go on my phone for a bit and check our banter message group. And our friend Dan posted.
Sorry, who?
Dan.
Not
Dan.
aware of anyone with that name.
No.
Dan posted.
Oh, sorry, you meant Dan.
Yeah,
Oh,
Dan. Yeah, sorry.
yeah.
He posted a.
Is that Bailey?
Yeah, we don't have to keep going on about that. Yeah, Dan posted a video, and it was basically a time lapse of the whole universe. It was pretty crazy. I didn't actually end up watching the video, but it was like it started with Earth like just beginning, and then it showed like how the galaxy moves in like what 30,000, no, not even 30,000 years, something extreme. But that's not the point. The point was I just clicked on a video, and then it was a Reddit video, so I scrolled down and just looked at some of the comments. And this was the first comment on the video. It said, "This video is just so captivating. It really puts time as we know it into perspective when the stars are all burned out only 7 minutes into this 30-minute video. It's also oddly comforting in a way, knowing that we just happen to live in a time where the universe is still practically brand new and that we are able to watch it grow and evolve and are just now beginning to understand how it all works." And then in inverted commas, "We are the universe experiencing itself." And that's a quote by Carl Sagan. And here's me, drunk as fuck at the Bird.
It's like amped up now. Yeah.
I read that comment and I literally started having like a mini existential crisis, like right there in the middle of this bar, reading that comment, because I was like, oh my God, this is so right. Like, we are the universe experiencing itself. So then what am I? Like, what am I in this whole grand scheme of the universe experiencing itself? And then I just brought myself back down to reality and ordered a beer.
Which beer did you get?
Atomic, which is a beer by Gage Roads.
Gage Roads, okay. Yeah, nice. Very nice. Gage Roads.
A variety of this excellent company.
Single
It's a
fin.
single fin from Gage Roads.
It's great beer. Great beer.
Hashtag Gage Roads.
Yeah, hashtag. And I mean, has this ever happened to any of you guys?
Definitely. Thinking about
But like something so like small
it's
like that.
basically, yeah. No, so not
Daily.
necessarily from a not even necessarily from a comment. It's just thinking about the universe, how it began, its vast size, how old it is, and the latest. Like, so anytime I think about that, I have a bit of an existential crisis. I guess it's just like where it doesn't make sense. That's why we don't understand everything behind it.
Yeah.
And the latest thing that's sort of given me an existential crisis, I guess, is are we in a universe or are we in a multiverse? You know, so and then you start thinking about that, and it's just like, well, if one universe is that big, how big are multiverses?
Yeah.
Like when there's
And
so
how
many
many
of them.
are there? And
Can you explain the
Infinite,
multiverse?
yeah.
So
for
basically,
people?
it's just more than one universe.
Yeah, it's like extra dimensions.
parallel
not extra dimensions. It's
universes.
like literally more than one universe.
Yeah.
So we don't live in a universe; we live in a multiverse.
Yeah.
Which means so the universe encapsulates all the galaxies and all that stuff. So there's more than one of those.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
And ours
it's
is
insane
supposed
to think about.
And the universe is supposed to be infinite. And so how can something that's infinite then be multiplied? Like, there's just
Yeah.
so many.
Yeah, exactly, and that's enough to just like make your brain explode. And so I've had many of these thoughts where I've just like gone on and on around in circles, trying to make sense of it all, trying to comprehend it all. And it's just, I think the natural reaction is just to get confused by it because you don't understand and just be like, how are we here today in this moment, in this time? Like,
Well, our mind is
yeah.
pretty finite, I suppose. We can only think as much as we're capable of. And though we are the most intelligent species, we can only go so far at the moment. Some things are well beyond our understanding. I had a little one of those yesterday, actually. A small existential crisis, a little baby one.
Yeah.
I looked at a photo of, I don't think it was the Milky Way. I think it was something else. Anyway, I looked at it from a really different perspective for one time. I was like, what if there are other planets out there that aren't that far away from each other? There are living beings on these planets, and these different planets are actually friends with each other, and people go from planet to planet. I just look at that and I'm like, so there's a big party out there, and we're just looking in from the sides.
Yeah.
We
And
don't even get to see it.
imagine
Yeah.
how much more, evolved those societies are having.
How fun would that be?
Yeah, that'd be really fun.
I was just like, I felt left out. I felt uninvited.
True.
Basically, Futurama. Were you just
yeah.
dreaming about Futurama?
I think I was just watching Future.
So I started looking a bit more into having existential crises, and came across this quote by Soren Kierkegaard. I'm not sure what.
Kierkegaard, yeah.
No, that sounds like you nailed it. Yeah.
Kierkegaard, who was an existential philosopher and proposed that each individual, not society or religion, is solely responsible for giving meaning to life and living it passionately and sincerely or authentically.
Absolutely.
And there's this whole emphasis on living life authentic within people who are dealing with existential crises. The very meaningless of life forces man to create his own meaning.
Yep.
A lot of existentialist writers actually build on this theme of authentic existence, which involves the idea that one has to create oneself and then live in accordance with this self. And this is sort of why I took up teaching, music teaching, is because prior to my music teaching degree that I'm currently doing, I was studying city planning, town planning, and I was doing it and I was like, well, yeah, this is good, and I like this career, and I like sort of the lifestyle of this career. Do I really like the work? Is the work that I'm doing will I feel really benefited in my life having doing this work? And from the outside in, I just thought, nah, I don't think that will happen. And then I started working as a retail manager, and it was the same thing. Like I just looked at it and I was like, wow, there is no possible way I can spend the rest of my life doing this form of work, because there is nothing rewarding about this. And I'm a guy that likes to make people happy. I'm very social and I like helping people a lot. And I just had a look and I was like, well, what's a career that does that I can enjoy? And I felt teaching was down that line of work, and I feel a lot happier having made that decision. Is this something you guys can relate to?
Well, teaching is one of the most noble professions you can get. So it's probably a good sort of understanding that you had there. And I'm just going to say, I agree with that philosophy 100%. So like, I've always said the meaning of life, like everyone always questions, what's the meaning of life? What's the meaning of life?
Yeah.
The meaning of life generally, in an evolutionary sense, is to procreate.
Yeah.
And so we might think, oh, we're humans, we're more complex than that. But no, we're literally designed to procreate. That is the meaning of life. But in terms of in a grander sense, to like the meaning of life is to make our own meaning. Like that makes sense. I think everyone wants to have their own sort of, you feel proud of yourself for doing the things that you give meaning to your own life or give meaning to other people's life. So
I think it's just a conscious scale that you're looking at it from then. So there's like the physical side, the biological side, and then we are different because we have that consciousness. So that's
the existential side.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
But I had a similar existential crisis before I started working after uni. I was just like, do I want the next sort of 40 years of my life to be just working 9 till 5? And that gave me an existential crisis, really. Yeah. Not something I wanted to do, but I ended up doing it, starting it anyway. I need to travel more.
Yeah. Brett, you're relatively quiet.
Thanks,
do you want to chime in on anything?
I was more just listening. I can't say that I've particularly had like an existential crisis or a moment that stands out as, you know, like
you're pretty content with how you're living.
I am. Look, I work in the profession I want to work in. I love my job. I like going to work every day.
Yeah. But you never really question your existence like we have.
No, not my existence, but we'll say the direction I was heading in. Like I haven't obviously always worked in this profession or industry. So before then, I didn't really have a direction.
Yeah.
We'll say I was directionless.
Yeah.
And my partner helped sort of put 2 and 2 together for me.
Yeah.
And was like, why don't you give this a go? And then from there, I guess I sort of found my own direction.
Yeah.
So I guess I was kind of, we'll say, in denial about where I was headed.
Yeah.
I didn't really have a crisis on my hands just because, I don't know, it's hard to, I guess, put it into words. I wasn't sure where I was going, so I wasn't that worried about where I was going.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. And that's actually, like, a lot of people would value that, is to just sort of be okay with being stagnant.
Yeah, I don't think you have to like, literally worry for it to be classified as an existential.
Oh, of course.
It doesn't have to be profound. It can just be, it's just a way of defining
I was
it.
concerned because I was getting, we'll say, like early 20s, and I was like worried that, you know, where's my future headed? And I didn't have things set in stone by an age where I would have hoped that I would have had things set sort of maybe with a few more goals in mind.
Yeah.
But now I'm in a point now where I love my job, and, you know, I'm getting married next year, and I have the house that I want to have, at least for the time being. And yeah, so I'm fairly content with my life.
Yeah.
Contentedness itself is its own philosophical achievement, I suppose. Because
Yeah.
that's generally people
Well
look
done,
for.
Brett.
Yeah,
Oh, look, I don't look at it as like
you just skipped over the whole existential crisis.
it's
Through the
really
finish line.
crazy. Like when I talk to people, like obviously I work in a very like people orientated industry. Like I work in fitness, but it's heavily reliant on relationships with people. And whenever I meet someone new, I always ask, "What do you do for work?" General question. But I am curious, and it's very often that they'll say, X career, whatever it is. And my question always is, "Do you enjoy it?" One, because I'm curious, and I just kind of want to see how their sort of morals and things sit. And it's so often that people are like, yeah, or like, yeah,
It's
it's
a job.
okay. It's, it pays well. Or things like that. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck what it pays.
Which is crazy how people value pay over their happiness.
Absolutely. And there was a study done. I was actually talking to my boss about this because I moved considerably closer to my work in the last few weeks, which has been awesome. And he was telling me that one of the most important things in terms of overall happiness is personal relationships with friends and families, number one. And number two is actually proximity to work. And that's how close you are to your job.
I was actually just talking to my cousin before I came here, and she just started a teaching job, and she has to drive an hour to that job, and she doesn't really like it at the moment. And the fact that she has to drive an hour there is just like, it's sort of like being in. I've tried to say this word before, but I can't remember. What's the word when you're not in heaven, but you're not on earth?
Purgatory.
Purgatory.
Yeah.
Bang.
You're in purgatory, just going to hell, pretty much.
Honestly, it is so taxing. Like before I moved, so I live 5 minutes from work now, which is great because I start early and I finish late.
Yeah.
Prior to that, I was driving about 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't seem like a lot, but that's just shy of an hour in the car every day.
Yeah.
And the closer I was getting to moving, the longer that 25-minute drive home seemed every night. So now I get home instantly, and it's awesome.
Well, for someone who wasn't really talking at the start of that topic and just
Yeah, sorry guys.
Yeah.
that was great. You were
Thanks
just,
for hijacking it.
I'll see myself out.
And we're out of time.
great opinion though, Brett, and great opinion from everyone. I can't express like the feeling of having an existential crisis. It's like, I know you start to just feel really hollow inside is the best way I can describe it. And
It's a rabbit hole.
you sort of feel like you're just falling down it.
Yeah, take the red or blue pill, see where it goes.
Oosh.
Yeah.
Just a little fact about existential crisis is that you can have an intrinsic existential crisis, which is asking like, who am I and why am I here? And then there's extrinsic existential crises, which is like, how did we all get here, and how do we define here? Like, what is Earth? Is Earth the only place for us to be dwelling, or is there somewhere else? Like, there's an array of questions that can pop up when you're having an existential crisis, and that can just lead to that hollow feeling inside.
This is a great topic for me because I'm wearing the attire of someone that is basically having an existential crisis.
Got to
at all
hold
times.
your hands like this.
You
and
got
just
the
be
Carl
like-
Sagan attire going like.
Yeah, constantly questioning existence as a whole.
That's it. But I'll just finish this topic with a quote. And this quote is from Scott Dinsmore, who left a Fortune 500 company to start his own business called Live Your Legend, which is a connection platform to inspire people to find their passion. Maybe social media isn't dying if people are willing to start companies like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good
That's
one.
maybe a more specific one that we're talking about. That's how the evolution of social
true.
media. Yeah.
And so the quote is, I've learned that there is nothing more consistent with unhappiness than spending your time in a way that doesn't serve as who you are. So if anyone out there is feeling a bit like they don't know their place in the world, you need to focus on spending your time in doing stuff that makes you happy. And I mean, hopefully that happiness is ethical, not like I'm happy killing people or something like that.
As long as no one's getting hurt.
Yeah. But I am the best when I'm doing things that make me happy. This morning I woke up and I started learning. Well, I played piano. I'm learning piano at the moment, and I learnt a song on piano, and I just feel like that's been like a great vibe for the rest of my day. So you just need to focus on stuff that makes you happy and make sure it's being worked into your daily lifestyle.
Very nice.
But that was also because you're quite lucky
Yes, in my as a
as a person.
Well, you
yeah,
are,
no,
yeah.
absolutely, yes. I I wouldn't be able to talk on behalf of people that aren't as lucky as I
Yeah.
am. But in my sense, yes, I my privilege in being able to do what I want to do and to be happy doing that is insanely privileged.
But you are just taking advantage of the situation you're in. So that's not a bad thing at all.
Yeah, and I mean, hopefully through my privilege, I can teach people through my future profession and help them out and hopefully give them a guiding light.
You can guide people who don't know how to guide themselves.
Can I just make a suggestion on that? And this is probably a topic I'll do in the future, but something to really help that side of things is doing meditation. And that's something that I've started doing recently and I found to be extremely helpful. So like I'll be doing a meditation session, a guided meditation, and I'll hear my phone go off. My phone will start going mental, like, I don't know, Instagram or something going off. And natural instinct is to check it. And I think, all right, I'll check it after I'm done meditating. But then it's just like I'm in a zone. I don't even think about it. And so it's just like it helps you be at peace with where you are in the moment. So that would be something that I would suggest doing.
Yeah.
Disassociation.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a good way of being at ease with any conflict in your life. So it can help those moments of existential crisis.
Great.
Yeah. So bringing it down a notch, I want to start some debate though. I want to start some opinion. All right. We all love food. We all need to eat. Okay. And I think food's something we're all pretty passionate about, really.
Yeah.
Big food lovers.
I'm also a big fan of a good power ranking. So
This is true.
this is a fact. I want us to discuss and let's find out what the best cuisine in the world is. So I've given my rankings, and let's tear them to shreds, basically.
Alrighty, okay.
So I want to go through
Wrong.
Yeah, pretty much. How I'm doing this is all wrong. I want to go through the top 5 in detail. I've got some honorable mentions that we can just like quickly breeze over before then, but we can break down the top 5, I guess, in a bit more detail.
So number 5 is obviously the fifth best.
Yeah, so
Just checking.
the honorable mentions will be like, I've actually got 6 honorable mentions, so it's not even top 10, it's top 11 really.
That's fine.
But equal 10th is I've got French and Vietnamese.
So wait, this is equal 10th.
Equal 10th.
So this is countries or specific meals?
French cuisine, Vietnamese cuisine.
Okay.
As I've
All
got,
right, I reckon
That's
we should.
hard. Because,
well,
there's different French
because-
cuisines that are amazing.
yeah,
and some
we're
are not.
talking in general.
General.
Okay.
Look, we know you're a man of culture, Brady, but
Have you seen my turtleneck?
He likes to think he is.
I'm having a crisis right now.
yeah.
I think French cuisine is sometimes can be over the top. Vietnamese cuisine, too much coriander.
I have not had. Okay, I have not had. I was a bit quiet in the last talk, but I'm going to get rowdy in this one. So I haven't had a lot of French food in my life. I'm a fan of the odd baguette.
Croissant.
Yeah, I love a good croissant. Other than that, I'm a big fan of Vietnamese food, though.
Yeah.
Banh mi.
Yeah, Vietnamese food is amazing. So I'm kind of annoyed. And secondly, you're out of the pod because it comes in at 10th.
Resist judgment until we keep going.
What don't you like about coriander?
No, so coriander is like literally one of those genetic things where you either like it or don't like
divisive,
it.
yeah.
So it's like it's a gene. You have to have the gene to like it. Or you
Coriander gene. Everyone knows that.
Whatever it is, I don't know what it is. Statman, I'm sure will be able to tell us off the top of his head.
Genus
I don't
coriandus.
quite remember. but
Also,
something-
Statman, you're a Vietnamese food fan, right?
Yeah, I
Vietnamese
like
food
it.
is good.
I
That's
like
why
it.
it's in the top 10.
Yeah, but only 10th.
My
Okay.
God.
Yeah, all right. And how
Because
many?
there's 9 better.
Was it Nigerian coming up number 9? Like,
No, it's
How many?
That comes in at 6. Come on.
I mean,
don't be silly.
clearly.
Swahili
Nigerian
cuisine.
food was just edged out.
By Papua New Guinea.
Just didn't make the list, unfortunately.
Damn.
But Vietnamese food is good. Like pho is good, and
All right, what's 9?
okay,
Wow.
Thank you very
That's
much.
the first phone call on the acid test.
I don't think it would even come through. Like
We
we
should
just
answer it and we
It will come
we get a
through.
caller.
Oh, yeah.
Just pick it up and be like, Rob's Fish and Chips. We don't hear our specials.
Pick
Well,
it
it's
up
Good
and
Friday.
say, welcome to the acid test. You're live on the air.
live on the air. All right. Coming in at number 9, we got Malaysian food.
Okay.
Yeah, Vietnamese
Let's
is
skip
better.
straight to number 8.
So,
Yeah.
just going back to the coriander thing, we have smell receptors apparently that your smell is tied into your sense of taste.
Yep.
And so this scientist bloke, loves food.
Yep.
He's
Thanks,
saying
Batman.
that depending on your smell receptors, you may experience a soap-like flavor, and I certainly get that.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. It's scientifically proven.
So I've heard that coriander's really, really tasty, but to me it tastes like soap.
Yeah. There you go.
It's all right. We can't all be winners.
We just have elite senses of smell.
Myth
And that's-
busted.
I mean, come on. Some say we can smell crime before it happens.
Oh, fuck.
The Niche Always Sunny reference, right? So you guys think Malaysian isn't as good as Vietnamese? All right.
Yeah.
You guys are missing out. In 8th, we got Spanish. Spanish cuisine. So
Love a good paella.
Yep, paella, tapas. You know,
Chorizo. I don't.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
probably not niche to just Spain, but I feel like I associate
well,
the
it's
two.
Spanish. It is Spanish. So yeah.
guess so.
Yep, Spanish. No arguments. All right, we're good.
That's all right.
Moving on to number 7.
Paella is actually good for Spanish. Sorry.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Number 7, American, USA. We got
Okay,
Carolina barbecue.
Jesus.
So we got ribs, barbecue, brisket, jambalaya. American food is
What
really
is
in vogue.
jambalaya?
It's basically paella but better.
Okay, well,
It's like paella with a drumstick on top or something.
Mike's shaking his head.
Worse.
yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, Mike.
But you got like barbecue and things like ribs that are like hell in vogue.
What
right
about
now.
so does that include like burgers?
Well, I don't think Americans really invented burgers, but you got American style burgers that are like hell
Yeah.
popular now. Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty okay. All right.
You can see
Yeah.
where it comes in 7th,
It's
right?
better than Malaysian.
I haven't had pizza
Hence
yet.
high up
So
the list. Opt for a reason. Were you gonna say, Luke?
No,
okay.
yeah, go.
All right, this one might be a bit divisive, but I have to give it its credit because it's influenced the culinary world a lot. And a lot of people will think this is lower than where it should be. But in 6th, I've got Japanese. Thoughts, Brady?
That's-
If you're gonna,
I love fresh fish and salmon and things like that. I love
really,
it.
do ya?
Love it. And ramen and things like that are pretty great. But I think the only problem I have with Japanese food is that it can be quite. There's not a lot of variety.
Is dumplings Japanese?
Not really.
you can
Like
you get
Chinese?
gyoza, which is similar.
Good.
Right.
Dumplings are Chinese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like Japanese.
Yeah.
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 Was the dumplings make or break?
I love Chinese though.
Well, Chinese isn't in the list.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. What's like the most popular Japanese dish?
It's got to be.
Ramen,
It's got to be
probably.
sushi.
Oh,
Yeah, it has to be sushi.
I don't like sushi.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I don't like how it's cold. I think like
Yeah, rice?
rice and fish I would prefer hot.
Look, you make very valid points. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Nice piece of like sashimi, just no rice,
Nah,
just fresh
sashimi
salmon.
is like honestly ham of the ocean.
That's salmon.
Is that an insult or?
No, that's well, I like ham, but that's an
Oh,
insult.
that's tuna.
No, tuna's the chicken
Of course.
of the sea.
The chicken. Let's see. All right. Now we've got the big boys coming up. Okay. Number 5, we have Thai food.
Thai food, yeah.
Massaman curry.
Massaman
Oh,
is one
good
of
shit.
the best dishes
Yeah.
in the world.
Okay, especially for our Perth listeners,
Oh,
you've
wait.
got to go to Mekong and check out literally best massaman curry in WA.
Yeah.
Is laksa Thai?
That is Malaysian.
Oh, okay.
And you guys all wrote off Malaysian.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Take it back.
it's soup.
I had this really good. I want to say khao soy. When I went to Thailand, it was basically just like spicy noodles, but they made it so well. And I've had some really good food experiences.
Wouldn't
when I went to
that
Thailand.
just literally be soy rice? Because cow means rice.
right? Well, then I'm probably like really wrong.
No, you might be right. I'm just saying. Like,
it wasn't rice though. It was noodles. No,
What?
yeah, it was noodles.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Was it cold or hot? Or?
Look, I have no idea. But I had some noodles with some spicy broth, and
Were
it
you
was
in
really
Thailand?
good. I was in Thailand.
Are
Yeah.
you guys-
Bangladesh or
Are you guys a
something?
fan of pad thai?
Yeah.
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 Good.
What about like green curry?
Yeah,
red
Thai green
and all
curry.
that?
Oh, curry.
Mate, when you're talking Thai food, there's variety.
Of course, yeah.
More
Yeah.
than Japanese. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, I think people that are like experts on this would probably disagree. Like,
Well,
Yeah,
can
but-
go- no.
but we're talking our opinions.
Yeah,
here,
well, you know,
so-
they can on their podcast.
No,
they can chime in then.
just saying, if they want to slaughter us, right in at the Acid Test Pod. Like,
Pipe up.
yeah, take us out for dinner for a nice Japanese
Yeah.
on you.
all right, so
Yeah.
this one might be a bit controversial, but
here we go.
number 4, we've got Indonesian.
Yeah, that should
I
be
think that's a bit higher
Yeah,
than
it's
it should be.
far too high.
I do like Indonesian food, but I think it's a bit higher than
Once
that.
again, what is your typical Indonesian?
For me, beef rendang, mee goreng, nasi goreng.
Is mee goreng Indonesian?
Okay, but
Yes.
you're thinking of the packet mee
You're thinking of
goreng.
mee goreng. the
yeah,
packet.
but it's noodles.
I'm talking like
splitting hairs
fried
here.
noodles with the vegetables, with the egg on top, like boiled egg on top.
right.
and-
Yeah.
not like boiled, but,
No,
sunny
that's
side up egg.
Indonesian.
Fried
That's
egg.
Indonesian. The fried egg. Sorry, yeah.
Right.
That's Indonesian. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really good nasi goreng is fucking heaven.
Next level, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have been more around the 7 or 8, but yeah.
Well, what would you have put ahead of it? This is the whole point of the debate.
I would have put Thai ahead of it for
Yeah.
sure. I really like Thai food, but I like spicy food. I find Thai food a lot spicier.
Indonesian's definitely spicier.
Maybe I'm eating at the all right places.
Maybe.
there's obviously a lot of diversity in Asian cuisines. So yeah, I feel like there's other countries that could be a bit higher.
Yeah.
Because it's bad of us to just sort of lump everything into the same sort of Asian cuisine. 'Cause-
Noodles, vegetables,
Yeah.
it's the same shit.
Yeah, it's just pretty much. But yeah, I guess there's a lot of different Asian cuisines that could be higher than what they are.
Well, I mean, name some then.
Khao soi, you said before.
That's not a cuisine. That's a dish.
Malay's actually pretty good. I reckon that could be
Yeah.
high.
So the thing about Malaysian food is that they've taken a lot of Indonesian dishes and made it like so beef rendang. You find that in Malaysia, for
Yeah.
example, but it's an Indonesian dish. So like I've had to put Indonesian up because they originated these dishes.
Yeah, fair enough. All right.
And have you guys ever been to Mongo? It's an Indonesian restaurant in
In Mount Lolly?
Mount Lolly.
Yeah. No, I haven't.
One of the dishes there is
I have.
It's the spiciest food you'll find in Perth.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like one of the dishes was inedible. It was so hot.
Wow.
All right.
It's a selling point right there.
Now,
Mate, so good you can't eat it.
yeah.
now we got the real big boys coming
top
up.
three.
The top three, okay, and we're looking. There's 3 different continents. yeah?
Australian.
Well, I'll make a prediction.
Okay.
It's gonna be Indian.
Yep.
Well,
Italian.
yeah, but I reckon Italian's first, and then German second.
German. Really?
I said 3 different continents.
Continents.
All right, I'm going to say India will be third, Italy will be second, and first will be
Brazil,
Ooh, Argentinian.
Argentinian.
Nah, Sean's, I don't know what the third one is, but Sean's got Indian as first,
Yeah.
Italian as second, and then third is mystery.
Mate, don't look at the list.
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I can't see a list.
Well, there you go. Spoiler alert. Okay, third is, and you guys are going to kick yourself when I say it, Mexican.
Oh, yeah, we are kicking ourselves. Should have
Well,
got
look,
that one.
I, to be honest, I didn't think that would make your top 11. To be honest, I'm just very surprised.
Mexican is amazing. You got nachos, burritos, you got
Yeah.
chili con carne. Like,
Chimichangas.
where does the list end?
Just a bag full of chimichangas.
It's starting to look like a chimichanga.
Yeah, like amazing food, and I always enjoy eating Mexican food because it's like it doesn't have to be like really cheesy. Like you can take the cheese away, and it can still be like really tasty and healthy.
No, the only problem I have with Mexican food is I feel like shit after I eat it.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's me with Chinese food.
Yeah?
That's from
Yeah,
that.
yes.
We were talking about remember off pod once. I think that Chinese.
No, you're talking about on pod. That Chinese gives you headaches.
Yeah, that myth.
MSG.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
MSG.
placebo effect of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I still love it.
So the fact that you've put Italian before Indian,
Yeah, so I've got Italian as second best cuisine in the world.
fuck you.
Yeah, you're not even
Yeah,
Italian.
I knew it would be controversy.
What
Finally.
the hell? All right, Indian.
Two wogs on here and
Indian
These
is
guys.
Indian is bloody great. Like I love Indian. I love butter chicken, lamb
The
rogan.
worst.
classic.
Butter
It's the-
chicken is like the worst of the.
Okay,
Indian
but
the dog
like-
shit of India.
You still enjoy it though. I would still enjoy butter
It's
chicken.
good. It's good.
But like lamb rogan Josh and chicken tikka
Sagwala.
masala
I am so hungry thinking about it.
Yeah, we're gonna-
Okay, and-
Lamb sagwala.
and like
That's
naan,
the number
like
one.
having like close to 4 naan like at each time you eat, like that would be that's
4 naan
pretty much
per
what I
person
like.
is-
Yeah, great.
That's insane.
And that's amazing. But then when you look at Italian food, man, Italian food,
Pasta.
pasta,
Lasagna.
pizza,
Oh, wood
Lasagna
fire
is
pizza?
pasta.
dude, like they're like staples to
Staples from
all of
Naples.
Western food.
But there's so much more diversity in Indian food. You have so many spices,
It's
so many
vegetables and meat.
combinations.
But the good thing about Italian food is that it can still be really tasty without like being overcomplicated.
I feel
Some
like
of-
pizza deserves its own subsection.
Right.
Really.
Pizza should just be number one on its own.
Yeah, I could. Oh,
I
yeah.
prefer curry to pizza.
Because you're not Italian.
Yeah, some of the best Italian dishes I've had have been the most simple, like just 3 ingredients.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
Ask
and
any
the fact-
master chef. He'll tell you.
The fact that it can be so tasty is what I appreciate about Italian, and I would put that first before Indian.
I would argue that. Okay, so
you're wrong, but it's okay.
No. So I was going to say I'd argue that both cuisines originated from poverty.
Yeah.
So they had to use what was in the land to make the food. And so essentially they both come from like simple backgrounds,
Yeah.
very like basic dishes. So Indian, you have like 5 or 6 spices, you make a paste, chuck it in it, cook it up. And then they'd use like chickpeas, for example. They wouldn't use meat. Meat's a very like Western thing to use in curries. They use a lot of curries are vegetarian.
Yeah.
But I mean, put a good goat curry with a naan against a pizza. I'm taking the goat curry. Like, I know it's controversial because I'm Italian and whatnot,
Taking
but
the L as well.
I mean,
but-
put a madras against a good pasta, and I'm just like, okay, I'm torn. But it's like both are amazing to me.
All right, I just did my quick top 5 there.
Okay,
Now, wait, Mastermind curry is Thai, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. So my top 5 is Italian's number 1,
Okay.
Just because pizza, man. My love for pizza and pasta is.
You can't go wrong
We
with
have another Italian back in the group.
Look,
Three logs.
That's. I'm very Australian.
Can I just add something before we end? Italian food, where Italian food might get the edge on Indian, is that Italians have also perfected desserts. So you've got like tiramisu, for example.
Forget about it.
Yeah,
Gelato.
Yeah. Exactly. So I mean, that's
The hand gestures alone
Like, I don't
when
think you
eating.
can hear that at home.
they can't.
Yeah, but my hand's going a million
I
miles
can
an hour.
see you look like a spaz though.
Well, they see me every week. So.
Number 3 is.
What was your number 2?
Number 2 is Indian.
Okay.
Number 2 is Indian because curry and
Oh man.
That's
That's the day after.
starving.
Jeez.
Yeah. Number 3, Spanish,
Yep.
and then I'm just gonna go with like American because like burgers as just a whole and ribs, and then number 5 is actually no, sorry, I've flipped them. Sorry, Thai food is 4, and then American is 5.
That Masaman just gives it the edge, doesn't it?
Massaman, oh my man.
All right, so I guess we can end on saying majority rules Italian wins.
Italian, I think overall for us would be a number 1.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool or not cool?
Cool or not cool. Skip it, pop it, do. Ow. All right, we are.
Give it a bap-a-doo.
Cool or not cool. Number 1.
Didn't expect that.
We're rushing straight into Italian food now.
Hey, cool.
Hey.
All right, so these are a bit niche. Every week I come up with these pretty much as we're about to start. So it's whatever's fresh in my mind. Number 1, new seasons of Family Guy.
I reckon it's still cool. Like I don't watch Family Guy anymore, but I'd still watch a new. Like they haven't really changed much, and it's still like pretty good comedy. So yeah, cool.
Sean?
I've not watched them, so I can't. I'm going to say not cool because I haven't. I mean, maybe if Facebook advertised a bit
Yeah.
more aggressively the new
Targeted.
Family Guy towards me, I might watch it. So
The
not
Shadow
cool.
account was working
Yeah.
properly. Yeah.
I'm gonna go not cool as well. Early seasons are pretty funny.
Yeah, early Family Guy's great. I think the new ones, I saw one the other day, and it's really politically driven and stuff now, and so much agenda to it. Can't be bothered. I just want to have fun. Number 2, Gumtree freebie section.
Gumtree being like Craigslist.
Like Craigslist.
Yeah. Freebie edition.
There's
Like
a
there's a
section where it's just free.
Really?
Free
Oh,
stuff.
wow, that's cool. Yeah, that's so cool.
It's going to be all over that.
That was like a real genuine response. That was not thought about.
That's cool.
The idea of it is cool, but I'm going to say not cool because of the content that's there.
The photo I posted
And-
the other week.
Well, it's just nothing but people giving away cats and dogs, and it's really depressing.
That is not cool. The whole thing is not cool. Another thing that is also not cool is the amount of people selling bricks. Or not
Oh
selling.
man, giving them away.
bricks.
And grass and sand. Like,
Why do people have so many bricks? Just order the right amount
Giving
for
away
the job.
sand.
yeah, people give away sand. If they're giving away dogs, they're giving away sand.
Man, currency of the future.
Yeah.
I mean, dog sand, same thing.
Yeah.
Number 3.
What do you
Yeah,
think
wait,
of
what do you
Gumtree?
think is?
Oh yeah, I love it. It's depressing, but I love a good scrap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You hoarder.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Number 3, ham.
cool. Goes with doesn't go with everything.
No, it goes with everything.
Jewish people agree. Yeah.
Yeah, bacon and fucking what's the other?
Say no more, honestly.
Yeah, like
bacon and,
like
full
the like Christmas ham.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Christmas ham, I'd argue, is like
Better than
of the
Italian food.
variation of hams. It's like the worst.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, antipasto sort of tier ham, and we're talking like prosciutto crudo and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, antipasto is a great addition to Italian cuisine.
Tell me about all the
And-
Indian hams.
And the older I get, the more I enjoy a good antipasto. So yeah, ham is cool.
I feel that as well.
Yeah.
Prosciutto is better than Indian food.
You are
I'm pushing it.
about to get your head kicked in.
Yeah. Ham is very cool. Ham and cheese is just like, there's honestly, name a more iconic duo. It's like 30% of what's good about French food.
Yeah,
It's ham.
The acetest and Gage
It's-
Roads beers.
Yeah.
Oh, wash it down. Wash that piece of ham down with a gauge road. Coming at you.
Forget
next
about
The
it.
most iconic duo.
Ham, very cool. Comes in many different forms, which I didn't even think about in two separate prosciutto.
Even steamed, yeah.
Oh, steamed ham. That's what I call hamburgers. Number 4, Game of Thrones.
not cool. Don't watch it.
Is it not cool because you don't watch it, or is it not cool? Full stop.
I'm sure. Nah, not cool. Fuck yous.
Sean?
Oh man, that steamed ham call was so good. Yeah, Game of Thrones is cool. Of course, it's cool. Yeah, I mean, say no more.
Yeah, Game of Thrones is cool as fuck. I drove home so quickly on Monday to watch the most recent episode.
I'm going to say cool, but apparently it's not cool if you don't watch it. It's one of those things you feel a bit excluded.
Just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
No,
cool.
I don't feel excluded. I just don't give a shit.
You'll watch it one day and you'll realize what you missed out.
It's like the same
Right.
reason I don't listen to G Flip because I don't give a shit.
Well, I envy Luke's position because he can
marathon
watch
it.
Game of Thrones for the first time and we
Yeah.
can't.
And he can marathon. Don't have to wait like 6 months to
Yeah,
watch an episode.
a year
or
and a
more.
half, yeah.
2 years.
Playing the long game, I like it, Luke.
Yeah,
Sure.
smart. Yeah. Well done, Luke.
Probably still not going to watch it, but whatever.
Number 5, living in a rural town.
By the seaside or
Just rural,
in
not in the
smack
city.
bang in the middle of Australia?
Not in the city, wherever.
Oh, okay. Well, if there was like a beach at least, it might be a bit cool. But I
Think like Mika Thara.
yeah, like remote, like pretty
Yeah.
remote. Not cool. Can't do it. Need more than
You need
like,
hip hop karaoke.
Yeah. I need culture around me. I'm sure there's a lot of culture around there, but just not the culture that I dwell with.
I agree, not cool. I'm a city boy. I'm a city slicker. Need my high-rise buildings.
Fucking hell.
Yeah,
City slicker.
I am. Need my ribs, my Carolina barbecue.
Brett.
My steamed hams.
Not cool. He needs his hams. Yeah, not cool. I couldn't live rurally.
Yeah. Also, not cool. How boring would it be? I've been in them, and after 2 days, like, just fuck.
You'd really just have to really appreciate nature and forward driving and
Fishing and beers. I think. Like we like beers, but like not as much as people rural do.
yeah.
Gets them through the day. That and some ham. Oh, they're good to go. Game of Thrones. Fuck. All right. I think that's done.
Yeah, it's done.
Another episode in the bag. Thank you so
done.
much for watching and listening. Happy Easter, everybody, and we'll see you next week.